Okay, so we are going to start now with our Ignite series. I don't know if any of you have been a part of or seen what an Ignite talk is. We're calling this our Ignite Insight series. This is something new to me and to our 5 speakers. So I preface that by saying that so that you know it's kind of new to all of us. So the idea is each of these speakers are going to get 5 minutes to give you insight into their world. The purpose of it is to really help you gain a better understanding of how they may be using the home-based service program, how they may be a professional as part of the home-based program. There will be a slideshow that goes along with their 5-minute presentation. It's going to auto-advance every 15 seconds, so we're hoping they practice that the slides and what they're talking about are going to jive, but if they don't, really what I want you to mostly do is to listen to what they say. They have a lot of great insight to share with you, and again, this goes back to this being a professional growth experience. I'm hoping that all of you, each and every one of you, will take something away from each of their presentations. All right, so with that being said, the first person that I'm going to call up is Katie. I'll tell you a little bit about Katie. She's going to tell you most of her. I've known Katie for about 16 years. Katie has been she uses home-based funding. She's in the adult home-based program, and I think for probably the past 16 years. Yeah, since 1994. So Katie's going to give you some insight into how she uses the program. I invited her here and to speak because I'm her service facilitator, and together we have been very creative with using her funds. And that's why I'm hoping that you'll hear from her is all the different ways that you can use this funding, how meaningful it has been to her, and how supportive. You ready? Okay.
Hi, my name is Katie Levin. I have Asperger's, some chronic anxiety, and some other mental health and learning issues. I live independently. I'm in my late 30s. My parents are both deceased. Both died at a young age unexpectedly. My father died when I was 16 years old, and my mother died 4 years ago in February 2011. I have an associate's degree from Oakland Community College and a bachelor's degree from Northeastern Illinois University. There weren't as many supports at NEIU as I needed, and they were very underinformed about autism spectrum disorders, although this was between 5 and 10 years ago, so I'm not sure if anything has changed. I work part-time at Aspies as a social media specialist. It's a company for adults with high-functioning autism and Asperger's to do software testing in Highland Park. Mark Lazar, the autism specialist from the Tech, is here today, so you can stop by their booth to learn more. I like doing photography. It's mostly a hobby for me, but I've recently started selling some of my pictures. You can stop by my booth later to see and purchase some of the pictures. My boyfriend, Brian, also has Asperger's, and we both work in Tech. We have been together for about 2 years. He's a lead test engineer and lives at Tech, and he lives independently. His family has been very kind and supportive to me, especially in the absence of my own parents. I have had this program since I was 18. My mother managed it for the first few years until I moved out in my 20s, and it's been used to help with a lot of supports. I've been working for Lisa, as she said, for the last 16 years. This is how I'm using the home-based funding. Occupational therapy. I have OT every other week at Clearbrook with Irene and Colleen, who are both here today also. It mostly helps with sensory challenges and coordination issues. They've introduced me to some techniques like brushing, physical movements, and other activities like meditation, sensory items that help me with my sensory issues. Counseling. I see my counselor, Diane Gold, every week. She She's also here today. I can't remember the name of her agency. What? Pure Chicago, thank you. I see her for both individual and couples counseling with my boyfriend. She helps me with relationship issues, anxiety, decision-making, and other personal issues. Personal support services. My personal support worker is Celia, and she comes with me once a week to visit with my grandmother. She helps me communicate with her because my grandma is visually and hearing impaired and doesn't understand my disability. My grandmother's 100 years old. And she'll help me plan my grandmother's 100th birthday party and help me with my baby move last year. Behavior analyst. My behavior analyst is from Gorbel Consulting, who is also here today. Krishanda comes to my apartment twice a week. One of my biggest challenges with having Asperger's is executive functioning. And she helps me be accountable for household tasks, motivates me with social outings, and actually helps me to do some of the more challenging tasks around the apartment. Mileage reimbursement. I submit my mileage to Lisa every month to get reimbursed for the services in my plan. I always have to ask Lisa first to make sure that it's okay. Service facilitation. Lisa and I meet every month in my apartment and review my benefits to make sure they're secure. She coordinates all of my services, finds resources for me, monitors and checks in with me. She's also available when I have questions or concerns. What is the most useful support funded by the home-based support program? Service facilitation is probably the biggest one. Lisa and I go through my mail, and she's there for support, helps me understand me when I get anxious. She helped me do things like call the governor's office to kind of encourage them to please continue to support this program and other programs that help people with disabilities in the state, because as you know, a lot of those programs are in danger of being cut or eliminated. She also goes with me to certain appointments. Example, we met at the housing office last year in downtown Chicago when I was applying to get my HUD apartment that I currently live in now. A huge deal for me was, and speaking of that, a huge deal for me was when she found my new apartment with the help of Lori Baker, who is also here today. In addition, Lisa has been helpful in understanding the eligibility requirements for my housing. All of my supports were a big help with my move. I could not have done it without them. What frustrates me about the program? I would say the single biggest thing that frustrates me is the constant danger of it being taken away. The constant danger of it being cut, being eliminated, just constantly not knowing if I'm gonna have my supports, because without this program, I would basically lose all of my supports, or almost all of my supports. I'm also frustrated I'm a little frustrated about having to follow procedures for getting services, but I understand that it's necessary so that things can be tracked and so the program can run the way it does. Do I feel included in decisions with the program? Absolutely. I sign off on everything. Lisa always asks me if I'm satisfied with everything and everyone who I work with. We communicate often. My providers listen to me and I choose my goals. If I'm not happy with something, she does her best to help it fit my needs. Thank you everyone for listening to my story, and a special thanks to my home-based supports who are here today.
Wow, right? All right, so as you can see, we've gotten very creative with how she uses her supports and how much they mean to her and how successful she's been because of them. So thank you, Katie, for doing that. Katie also has a booth. You saw one of her hobbies was photography, so please be sure to stop by and check out some of her really impressive photos that she's taken, and they're for sale as well. So thank you, Katie. All right, next.